Today, or I should say this week for phonics, we are going to be looking at something called comparatives. And comparatives are words that you use to compare more than one thing. So we have a base word, just like we've been using in the past. And so if our base word is dark and we're comparing two things, we would add the ER ending to say darker. Now, if we're comparing more than two things, then we would say darkest. So the ER ending typically is used when you're comparing two objects or things. EST ending is typically used when you're comparing more than two. Now, that's not always the case. If I said, I don't know, the car was darker than the rest, that would be appropriate. But typically, an ER ending is used when comparing two. So looking at the rest of these base words here. Fast. Our ER would be faster and fastest with more than one. Bright, brighter, and brightest. Quick, quicker, quickest. Here, we're adding a consonant and then the ER. So we have to double that last consonant before we add our ending. So for example, big, you have to add another G to say bigger, or else if you just said B-I-G-E-R, it'd be biger, and that's not a word. And so the same is true over here for biggest. You have to add another G so that that I can remain short, that short sound. So big, bigger, biggest. Hot, hotter, hottest. Again, you need to add that double T, double that consonant so that the vowel O can keep its short sound. Now, if your base word ends with an E, before you add your ER or EST, let me get rid of that, you first have to drop it, it's called. Or in a way, you're getting rid of it or you're erasing it. And then you add your ER. That way we don't have a double E vowel there. So safe becomes safer, and then safest, wide, wider, widest. And there's one more comparative rule here, and that's if your base word ends with a Y, you have to drop the Y and add the I. So silly to sillier, notice they got rid of the Y and then added I-E-R. And then silliest, once again, looking at that base word, they got rid of the Y and then added the I and then added the EST ending to make silliest. Sunny, sunnier, sunniest. Okay, so those are rules that we're going to need to keep in mind for our assignment and while we're doing the rest of this lesson. So we are now going to make some words. And the first word we're going to make is nicer. Nicer. She is nicer than I thought she would be. So when I hear or think about the word nicer, I have to first identify that base word. And the base word is nice. So I hear and I know that the ice, the sound ice is I-C-E. Whoops, I don't want to move the line. N-I-C-E. Nice. Now I don't need my ST right now, so I'm just going to move that to the side. Nicer. Now, my base word is nice, but remember if it ends with an E, you need to drop the E So get rid of your E, the original E, and then you can add the ER. And I probably, you know what I'm going to do here? There, nicer. I'm going to add another text box that is ER. And I might make that one. Let's make that one purple. Okay. There. So drop that original E, and then I can add my ER. I'm going to get rid of this too. Probably don't even need those, to be honest. Sorry. You know, if we were in the classroom, making these changes would be a lot easier. I went with purple. Okay. Now we don't need this one, so let's move it down here for now. Okay, so nice became nicer. Now, if I'm going to make the word nicest, I'm going to first get my word back to nice. Notice I also made our vowels blue this time. So I have nice, but once again, the word nice ends with an E. So I have to remove the E before I can add my EST ending to say nicest. Okay. And let's move this ending over to here also. Next word, matter. Matter. I was madder the second time I fell. I don't know. I'm thinking about my daughter. She's learning to rollerblade right now. So in the word matter, the base word is mad. Mad. So let's build our word mad. And I already know how to spell that word. That was one of the first words I learned. Mad. I hear that D. Mad. Madder. Now, this follows that rule that we talked about, where if you have a vowel in one consonant, you have to add another consonant or double that ending consonant. Because if I were to just, ER, if I were to just move my ER over here, that would say mater. And we're not watching the movie Cars. So I need to move that, add or double that consonant so that it says matter. M-A-D-D-E-R. I always forget to clap that when I'm not with my class in person. Okay, now matter to maddest. Maddest. She was the maddest of us all. Let's move our ER ending. And I'm just going to move this for demonstration's sake. So once again, we start with our base word, mad. And if I'm going to add the EST ending, I have to double that consonant so it's not madest. Oh, what did I do there? There. So that it says maddest. She was the maddest of the... Oh, you can clap with me this time. M-A-D-D-E-S-T. Maddest. Okay. And our last word, lower, is our last word. Now, I think about the word low. Whoops, right here. Low. I hear an O. And I know L-O is not a word. Oh, I need a W. Here, we'll change the C to a W. low. Now, low. Is my O vowel sound short or long? Low. I hear that it's saying its name, which means it's long. So, if I'm going to make the word low into lower, I can just add, whoops, not that one, this one. I can just add my ER. And the reason I can do that is because it doesn't matter. That E isn't going to change the fact that the O is already saying its name. I need it to say its name in this word, lower. We don't want it to say lower. We want it to say lower. It needs to say its name, so the E is okay to be there. So we didn't have to do anything. All we had to do is just add our ending. Same with est. So if we wanted to make low to lowest, we don't have to do anything. We can just add it because the vowel is long sounding. Now, I should have explained that when we were doing mad. The reason we had to double the consonant in the word mad, M-A-D, is because mad, that the short vowel sound, we needed it to stay short. And if we didn't double that consonant, it would have become long, and we didn't want that. So, moving on to our next activity, I have a bunch of words here, and our job is going to be to sort them according to their ending. So, I look at the word largest, and I notice it has an EST ending. Nicest, EST ending. Safer, there's my little arrow. There it is. Has an ER ending. Thicker, ER ending. Oldest, EST ending. Warmest, EST ending. Funnier, notice the root word of funny is funny. The root word of funnier is funny. They changed that Y. They dropped the Y and added an I. They also doubled their vowel or their consonant there. Funnier. Prettiest, EST. Busiest, EST. Hotter, ER ending. Saddest, EST. And bigger. Now, I'm going to go back up here. Remember, all of what we're doing, you have to think about the base word and what the base word looks like. So, today in your seesaw activity, I have a bunch of words. I wrote the base word for all of them on the left. You have to tell me, is it a word where before you add the ending, you have to drop the E and add it, or drop the Y and add an I? Or is it a word you don't have to do anything to it? You just add your ending, and that would go here in the add ending. So we'll do the first one together here. Largest. So I look at the word large because that's the base word, and I notice it ends with an E. And our rule is if the base word ends with an E, you have to drop the E before adding your ending. So largest would go here in the E drop or Y drop, add an I ending. So your job is going to be to look at that base word, decide, did you have to drop an E or drop a Y, or were you just able to add your ending? And the reason that these ones are a little bit smaller and these are a little bigger, they're not all going to be in the same column. largest is not going to be in this column. It needs to stay in this column. So you'll have words on both sides. Once you are done sorting all of these, you just click your X, or not your X, click your check, and then you are ready. So that is your job today. Tomorrow we will be looking at our comparative words in a story.